in probes into political assassination and corruption within South Africa's law enforcement agencies. He had denied all allegations. Meanwhile, a professor of law, Firoz Chachila, has been appointed to serve as interim police minister during the investigation. In another happening, 30 persons have been killed after violence escalated between Queen Sunni tribes and fighters from the Druze religious minority in southern Syrian city of Swida. Reports from Syria's interior ministry says dozens were also injured in the minority group clash. Consequently, Syrian forces are now expected to intervene, resolve the conflict and halt the clashes. Also, the governor of Swida, Mustafa al-Bakr, has appealed to his constituents to exercise self-restraint and respond to national calls for reform. In the UK, the Meteorological Office says the country is experiencing a change in climatic conditions compared to what it was a few years ago. The Met Office has therefore warned that the record-breaking heat and rainfall being witnessed could result in far warmer weather. The head of climate change science at the UK Climate Centre, Dr. Gail Atkinson, laments that a lot of tree species will be badly affected by the current conditions. President Donald Trump has formally accepted an invitation from King Charles III to attend a second UK visit. The Buckingham Palace confirmed this earlier today, saying the visit scheduled for 17 to 19 September will see Trump accompanied by his wife, First Lady Melania Trump, to the Windsor Castle rather than the traditional Buckingham Palace, which is under renovation. Recall that the invitation was at the behest of the UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer during a meeting in the Oval Office a month ago. Trump's first state visit took place in 2019 when he was hosted by the late Queen Elizabeth II during his first term in office. Ministers are in Brussels today to debate the 30% tariff threat by US President Donald Trump. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen, who spoke at a conference recently, said the EU still wants to reach an accord with the US, but not afraid to respond in similar fashion if the situation suggests so.
We will therefore also extend the suspension of our countermeasures till early August. And at the same time, we will continue to prepare further countermeasures so we are fully prepared. We have always been very clear that we prefer a negotiated solution. This remains the case, and we will use the time that we have now till the 1st of August. And on the second track, since the very beginning, we have worked and now are ready to respond with countermeasures.
The EU has originally planned to retaliate with 26 billion euros worth of tariffs in response to the Trump earlier duties on steel and aluminium. Recall that Trump announced that he would slam the bloc with sweeping 30% tariffs if no agreement is reached by August 1. You're listening to Global Box on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, transmitting live from Olojudo's Palace, Ido-Ekiti. After the break, U.S. President Trump pledges petrol missiles to derail Putin's continuous assault. Details of these and more when we return.
It is another refreshing time and the outpouring power of God as Christ Apostolic Church, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, presents Sure Mercy of David, a yearly fasting and prayer program where God is set to heal the sick, deliver the poor, set the captives free, and save the lost. Sure Mercy of David comes up in the month of August, every Friday to Sunday, each week in the month of August 2025, as God will be using his anointed servant, Prophet Sam Oluwabiyi Adamimogo, and many other great anointed men of God. Many spiritual singers will be ministering in song as well. Venue, CAC, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, Elamija Village, Lekki Epe Expressway, Lagos State. For one-on-one counseling with Prophet Sam Oluwabiyi, register at JesusCityRadio.com. Sure Mercy of David. Don't miss it.
Glad to know you're still there. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Adamimogo 107.7 FM. For updates around you on news inquiries, please call our newsroom on this number 0811 801 8242. Now to the rest of the bulletin. To some other matters, United States is planning to send Patriot air defense missile system to Ukraine as a way of shielding it from relentless Russian area assault. President Donald Trump revealed this to newsmen at Joint Base Andrews, saying he was getting weary of Vladimir Putin's double standards.
I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully, and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that.
Although Trump did not specify how many Patriot system will be delivered, he however mentioned that the cost of the transfer would be reimbursed by European unions. Meanwhile, a former political advisor in France, Fabrice Pothier, who reacts to the comments of Donald Trump, asked Ukrainians not to be complacent.
But I would say it's a fragile change because it depends on one man, Donald Trump, who takes a very personal, emotional view on these things. So I would say there is a sense of relief in Kiev and across Ukraine and even across Europe. But that sense of relief should not make us complacent.
Recall that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly called for increased air defense support to stop the daily missile and drone strikes from Russian forces. As now expected, the Patriot system, which is capable of intercepting ballistic missiles and aircraft, is seen as a critical component of Ukraine's evolving defense network. In a separate development, a carjacker-turned-gunman has shot dead 2 women at a church in Lexington, Kentucky. Reports say the violent car chase that began with the shooting of a police officer ended up as a tragic incident with 2 dead and 2 others badly injured. After hijacking a car and shooting a police officer at a routine check, the suspect had found his way to a Baptist church where he shot at the congregation indiscriminately. Media reports confirmed that 2 female worshippers aged 72 and 32 were fatally shot, while 2 male parishioners sustained injuries. However, law enforcement officers responded swiftly, confronting and fatally shooting the unidentified attackers inside the church. Police says initial investigations suggest the gunman had personal ties with people within the congregation, though the motive remains under investigation. Talking sports, starting with football, Chelsea has conquered club football for the 2025 season. It was attacking midfielder Cole Palmer who delivered a masterclass performance for the Blues, who shocked European champions Paris Saint-Germain with a dominant 3-0 victory. The England international scored twice and assisted a third to seal a famous win against a PSG side that had entered the tournament as overwhelming favourites. The win helped Chelsea to claim the first edition of the expanded FIFA Club World Cup at the Metfield Stadium in New Jersey, USA. In tennis, a recent data shared online has shown that players at the year's Wimbledon were targeted with abuse online 4 times more than compared to the same period in 2024. According to the new data, there were 1,902 abusive pieces of content sent to players on public-facing accounts and reported to the relevant platform by the Threat Matrix monitoring system. The numbers were reported to be more compared to 511 in the corresponding week of last year's tournament. For example, Spanish player Carlos Alcazar, said he experienced cruel abuse on social media after losing to world number one Jannik Sinner in the men's Wimbledon final yesterday. On the flip side, women's single runner-up Amanda Anisimova was scared to check her phone after she was thrashed by IGA Swiatek on Saturday. Quickly on entertainment, Drake's Wireless Festival has reportedly fallen short of expectations after his headline slot yesterday failed to live up to the billions. The rapper's headline slot ended after 40 minutes earlier than scheduled, despite an earlier promise that he would perform until his microphone was cut off. Unfortunately, fans were left devastated after the 38-year-old set featured just three special guests, Popcan, Brema, and VYBS Cartel. The Toronto rapper and singer appeared apologetic throughout the show, promising to play some of his biggest hits to win over the crowd, but still fell short as he concluded a 3 days London-based festival. To end Global Box at noon, a recap of our top stories. We told you that a 7-day mourning period has commenced as Nigerian past leader gathered in Daura, Katsina State later today for the burial of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The former leader, who passed on earlier yesterday at a clinic in London, will be laid to rest today in his own state in accordance with Islamic rites. Remember, we also told you that South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has asked his police minister to proceed on immediate leave of absence after he was accused of being involved in organized crime. A judicial commission has been consequently set up to investigate the claims against the police minister. We lastly informed you that President Donald Trump has promised that the United States will send Patriot air defense missile system to help Ukraine defend itself from Russia's endless aerial bombardment.